Good morning, beautiful people. I'm Alex and this is Gingerhead & Co, my sewing vlog. I'm going to show you how to start, finish and unpick your cover stitch. And I'm going to use my machines, so Juki MCS1500 and Babylock Ovation. So I'm going to show you how to start, how to end and how to unpick the cover stitch. Everything starts somewhere, but the cover stitch doesn't always start where we want it to. So if you're hemming in the round, it doesn't really matter, but if you are top stitching or doing something that requires you to be precise where you start, you might want to first lower the needles and then lower the foot. Because if your needles are slanted, it's probably even more obvious. Like in this machine, the needles penetrate the fabric slanted, kind of on the bias. They're not straight, right? But even if your needles are straight and you think that you want to start at a certain point, you might not achieve the perfection, because the feed dogs start moving the fabric immediately as you place it here. So it doesn't really matter that much if the needles are slanted for the precision. I prefer the machine, well, with slanted needles, but this is my preference. I don't think the straight ones are actually an advantage. Well, anyway, okay, I drew a line on my fabric, can you see that? And I'm going to show you what I mean. So I place the fabric under the foot and then I decide, well, by placing the needles, the outer right needle is in the fabric, right, on the line, and then I lower the foot. And now I can see that I didn't do it right. So I'm going to move it slightly, do it again. Okay, so my needle is precisely on the line. I'm lowering the foot and I'm cover stitching. Okay. So I have started precisely on this line. If I, however, first lower the foot, and again I'm trying to be precise, I'm lowering the foot and cover stitching. So in here I first lowered the foot, then, well, didn't lower the needles because they just got lowered by the machine. And I swear I tried to start on the line. See the difference? So that's when I lowered the needles first to align them with the line here, the line drawn on the fabric. And here, where I just went straight away. Well, anyway, to start the cover stitching, you don't really need to do much. As with most overlockers, the cover stitch needs to have the fabric under the foot. You can't start like that by placing the fabric here. It won't feed, right? So, well, basically, if it doesn't matter where you start, so if precision doesn't matter, if you're hemming in the round, just go. So, lower the foot and go. Right? If you want to be precise, foot is still up. Lower the needles, making sure that the outer right needle hits precisely at the spot. So precisely where you want your cover stitching to start. Then, don't forget, lower your foot and start stitching. So starting with the needle down and then foot down helps when you are attaching pockets, or when you have corners, or when you are top stitching something that is not in the round. Okay, right. By the way, this is 3 needles cover stitch, and I'm at the moment using my Juki MCS1500, as you can tell. And this is 320 grams French terry, so it's quite heavy, double layered, and the chain stitch looks like that. My stitch length is 4 and differential is 0 or neutral, depending on what your machine says. Okay, so whatever starts needs to end somewhere, right? So we're going to finish our cover stitching, and you could probably see how I do that. And this, for a change, is really lightweight jersey, so the results are going to be different. Okay, so I'm starting, I don't care where to start, so I'm just starting by lowering the foot, and I'm going. And I want to stop, right? So how to stop to finish so that the fabric doesn't, well, the stitch doesn't unravel. I've got my needles down, so I, just to make sure, I'll take a full turn. Okay, the needles are back in. I lifted my foot and I release the pressure by turning the wheel towards myself, always towards you, always towards you. And when the needles are in the highest position, so in some machines you can hear a click, right? That in the highest position, I insert a flat object under the needles, pulling the needles thread, right? Like that. I snip them, like that. Then I pull the fabric from under the foot. Can you see that there is one thread left? This is the looper thread, and we need to cut it, right? And what happens is, as you pull, the thread from the needles is pulled through to the wrong side. Okay, so it finishes nicely. So all the threads are on the wrong side, and you don't really have to do anything. It doesn't unravel. You can tie a knot, and you can pull all the threads using a needle here, but you don't have to. It doesn't unravel by itself. It just doesn't. Okay, so again, that, if I pull, it looks like it's tunneling, but, and that's the wrong side. And my looper is threaded with a different color, but it doesn't really matter, right? Okay, because my stitch length is 4, I haven't changed anything, as you could see. It's probably too long for very thin fabric. So let's try mid-weight fabric. French terry again. Okay, and this one is 240 grams, and it's cotton plus 4% of spandex, so 96 cotton, right? And I'm going to start wherever and go. And I want to finish, so I'll take one full turn. Okay, I lifted my foot. You can lift your foot at any moment, but remember that you can cut the threads only when the needles, when the tension is released. So the needles are in the highest position. And inside the flat object, pull the needles thread or out, cut the needles thread, pull the fabric from under the foot, and it's perfect, and it's finished. And you don't really have to do anything. It does not unravel. I have washed my clothes many times, although I tie a knot. But no, it doesn't unravel. So we have started, we have ended, and we don't like it. In cover stitching, unlike in real life, you can erase the past. You can undo what you don't like, what you did, and now you don't like it. So we always start unpicking from the end. And you know where the end is if you secured your stitch, because all your threads are on the wrong side of the fabric. The beginning has the stitches, the threads here still. Okay, you can cut them here, they will not unravel by themselves. We're starting our unpicking from the end by removing a few stitches, and we are unpicking the first few stitches. Can you see that? I don't know, 5, 6 should be enough. And then you are just pulling the thread. See, that's the looper thread that I'm pulling. And look how easy it is to unpick cover stitching if you start unpicking from the end. So now I'm going to show you the same things on a different machine. So this is Babylock Ovation, set up as a cover stitch that's 2 needles wide, which means that the space between the needles is 6 millimeters in Ovation, Babylock Ovation. And I'm going to show you the same thing. Because the needles are straight here, you are not going to have the same amount of difference. When you start, let's say that you start on the line, it's much easier, because the needles are straight, to start in the correct point. Okay? I'll just finish that in the same way. Okay, so in here the difference is it's only caused by the feed dogs, so if you are careful you don't have to start with the needles down and then foot down, right? So if the precision is more important, it's probably easier to achieve it well, from the start. The starting point is easier to determine if the needles are straight. But I prefer slanted needles because they get through the fabric better. Well, anyway, so you can just lift the foot, place the fabric under the foot. Well, you kind of need to be careful, and you need to make sure that the needles are where they are supposed to be, but you can start. Cover stitching, okay? Yeah, the Babylock chains off, but it doesn't really matter. I don't really use chaining off. So, well, the same thing. We're going to start by placing the fabric under the foot, okay? Yeah, I've got the knee lift. That's why you can't see me lifting the foot. You can lift the foot using the foot lifter here at the front of the machine, but you don't have to. You can use your knee lift, okay? That's why I like knee lifts. And you just go, okay? And you want to finish. And again, I do the full turn just to make sure that, that I'm going to release the tension. I lift my foot, raise the needles, thus releasing the tension. Cut the threads, the needle threads, pull the fabric out, cut the looper thread, and it's finished. Okay, let's try something else, some other fabric. I've changed my stitch length to 3. Because it was on 1. Okay, so I'm starting by lowering the foot, making sure that there is enough fabric for the feed dogs to work with. So fabric needs to be under the foot in every cover stitch. And let's go. And I want to finish. So I'm lifting the foot, lifting the needles, releasing the tension, pulling the threads, the needle threads, cutting them, moving the fabric, and there is one thread left attached to the machine. That's the looper thread. I'm cutting that, and it's done. That's the wrong side. And if you want to unpick, it's precisely the same. So you start unpicking from the end, unpicking a few stitches, and then again unpicking. Sometimes it does get stuck, but well, the rest is easy. See? So that's my looper thread unpicked from the wrong side. Flip over and remove the needle thread. And done. So that's how we start and finish and unpick cover stitching. Thank you for watching. See you soon.